So just to kind of recap kind of the last few weeks. So we had this was the 9th and the 11th. This was before all of the snow stuff. And that's where we had kind of done the mole conversions. So we had before that we had done we had talked about the mole and Avogadro's number for the particles. We had talked about how to calculate molar mass of a compound or an element. And then we kind of put it together and used either the molar mass or Avogadro's number in order to convert between either moles and particles or moles and grams, or if it was the two-step ones, we might go from grams to particles or particles to grams. And so that was kind of the last thing before all of our winter weather where we were closed for, like that week and a half or so. And so then last week when on Wednesday, we had kind of that asynchronous day. So I only put up sort of a practice review online simulation type thing that if anybody wanted to do that for extra credit, that's optional. So that's why it's extra credit. And then on Friday, I still didn't want to give you guys anything really new because I know that we're all kind of struggling right now. We're behind, all that good stuff. And so really all I did for last Friday was I posted a couple of tutorial videos on mole conversions. So the first one deals with molar mass. So all these are going to be grams and mole calculation. The second one deals with molecules, which is, like our particles. So that's going to be Avogadro's number. And then the third one also deals with Avogadro's number as well. So there's kind of a mixture here. So if you are still having trouble and you haven't tried watching those, I would definitely encourage you to try to watch those because they might help you to clarify some things. And even if you still are not understanding, if you literally just go to YouTube and just search, mole conversions or mole calculations, you're going to find tons of other tutorial videos, okay, other than those ones that I gave you. And so really that was kind of all last week. So for today, there's not anything really new, okay? All I have here on the agenda, we're still practicing the conversions between moles, grams, and particles. And so kind of what I said today was that during the Zoom call, if anybody wants me to go over a specific question or you want me to clarify anything, if you're having trouble still understanding it, then you can ask that and we can kind of maybe go over something. But if you are good on doing these conversions and you're like, I got it, I understand it, I don't need to ask any questions or I don't need to do any more tutorial videos or anything, then you should be good because there's nothing new for today. So to kind of recap, we're going to pick up on Thursday with new material. So Thursday, we're going to do what's called percent composition, which is still part of moles. It still deals with, we're going to still be using molar masses and calculations, but it's slightly different. And so what I kind of listed here was that on Friday, you have the more mole conversion tutorial videos that you can watch if you need help. And then after you watch them, or even if you don't need to watch them, if you want to do the extra credit practice from last Wednesday, that website is posted. And then the assignment, if you want to submit any of the problems for extra credit, is posted. And then, so that stuff's kind of optional. If you don't need to do the tutorial videos, or if you don't want to do the extra credit, that's fine, that's optional. The two things here at the bottom, these are things that are required. This is what we did before all of the winter weather stuff. So you have the notes for mole conversions, and then you have that mole conversion gizmos. That right now, that is the only grade we have right now for the 6 weeks, is that mole conversion gizmos. So if you have completed that and turned it in, I will be grading it later this week to put into the grade book because even though I know we've barely done anything, this Friday is the end of 3 weeks and progress reports are next Monday. So right now, the only grade that we are going to have for progress report is probably this one, because we're still not doing anything new until Thursday. And even though you're going to have an assignment Thursday, it's not going to be due until I think Sunday or Monday, since it's kind of falling over the weekend. And so it's not going to be done in time for me to grade it all and put it on progress report. So if you think you're behind, the only lesson and activity grade are these two right here at the bottom, and they're linked on here. It should link you back to the page with the notes lesson, and then here the page with the gizmos activity. So really, this is what you need to do, okay? The other things up here, these are extra. This is like if you need tutorial video help, you can watch these. If you want to do this extra credit and submit it for the bonus points here, you can do that. But the things that you need to do for a grade are right here, okay? And then, like I said, Thursday, we're going to do percent composition. And so you'll have kind of a lesson. I'll have some videos posted and kind of a practice assignment for that. We will come on Zoom on Thursday. We just may not be on very long because I'm going to maybe go through an example, but I'm going to do exactly what the videos I'm going to post ahead of time are going to do. I'm going to introduce the concept and we're going to do maybe one practice calculation. But percent composition is not very difficult compared to like these mole conversions. It's not as hard. And so most of you guys, I think, will be able to get that without a lot of trouble on Thursday. And then next week on Monday, we're going to be doing kind of the last new information for this unit on moles. And on Monday, we're going to be talking about what are called empirical formulas and molecular formulas. And so we're going to talk about what do those terms mean and what is an empirical formula and a molecular formula and how are they related. And then we're going to have a little bit of math because we're going to have to calculate how to figure out what an empirical formula is, okay? And so that'll be Monday next week. And then Wednesday next week is a kind of a review day because then next week before we leave for spring break, we're finishing this unit. So you're gonna have your test next week, okay? So just to recap, we've been kind of playing a lot of catch up with reviewing moles, extra credit. Thursday, we're gonna do percent composition. Monday, we're gonna do empirical and molecular formulas next week. Next Wednesday will be when you will have time to review. I'll have a review for the test posted, and then, or maybe some more practice problems, things like that to review. And then next Friday, you'll have your Unit 6 test posted, okay? Now, after Unit 6, we would be normally going on to Unit 7. However, because of this like disastrous year that we're having, we decided, all the chemistry teachers, we decided that we are going to skip Unit 7 because Unit 7 is called Stoichiometry, and it's actually arguably it's the most important part of chemistry. Like stoichiometry is chemistry. It's doing calculations with chemical reactions in order to determine amounts of substances, and it's used in a lot of different parts. There's a lot of different areas. They use it, like, NASA uses it to calculate, rocket fuel, how much rocket fuel they need, or how much oxygen they need for the people going into space. Baker, like people that do cooking and baking, use it because you're calculating how much of something you can produce. They use it in industrial in applications, in manufacturing. They use it in medical applications. People that do scientific research to develop drugs and things like that. So it's a really important topic, but what we decided is that, right, because it's a lot of math, and it's a continuation of what we're doing right now with moles. And it's just a little bit more difficult. And we decided as a group that we know you guys are all really like stressed out already. You're already, feeling like you're behind and overwhelmed. And we didn't want to really add to that by making you guys do more of this complicated math when we're all pretty much online for the most part. And so we kind of made the executive decision that we're going to skip that unit so that we're not all completely stressed out and overwhelmed. And we're going to go to the next unit that would be after that, which is Unit 8. And it focuses on gases. And we actually made the decision that even though the unit for gases is supposed to have some math too, we decided to kind of cut out the math calculations just to make it a little bit easier. So when we come back after spring break, our unit, the next unit we're going to do is for gases, and we're going to talk about mostly like properties of gases. So we're going to talk about things like pressure, temperature, volume, but we're not going to do math with them. We're only going to talk about their relationships. And so, if one increases, does the other one increase or decrease, and how do gas particles behave and things like that in terms of motion of the particles. So we're going to focus on that stuff and not the math calculations. And then after gases, so it's going to be kind of a shorter unit, and we're going to have a quiz. And then we're going to go to Unit 9, which deals with solutions. So we're going to talk about things like dissolving things, making solutions, and all that kind of stuff. okay, and how we can make just solutions dissolve faster or slower, or if we want to dissolve more or less of something, how does that work? And how do some solutions conduct electricity, but other ones don't, because that's because the type of things you're dissolving. And so those are the next couple of units we're going to get to after spring break. So there's not going to be as much math because we decided to sort of eliminate some stuff and kind of streamline it, to hopefully make it a little bit easier to deal with, going into after spring break and towards the end of the year. But I will say, if any of you really are interested in that math side of things, I teach all of that stuff in my IB chemistry class. So all the stuff that we're kind of skipping right now, the stoichiometry, all of the gas calculations and any calculations of solution, all of that really like cool stuff that actually, they use in a lot of scientific areas. That's what I teach in my IB class. So if you're interested in that and you think that's, a challenge that you're up for, make sure you sign up for IB Chemistry HL next year. Okay, there's my plug again for that. But going back to this for today. So what I would recommend to you guys is if you have not done your interactive notes for mole conversions, you need to go through that and there are practice problems built in to help guide you so you can self-check. If you are still having trouble after that, then I would say go to these mole conversion tutorial videos that I posted last Friday. Watch those and see if that helps you. Try to maybe do some of this practice on the extra credit if you want to do that. But after you have done the lesson, and if you need to view the tutorial videos, you can do that. What you need to do, like for your grade right now, is this mole conversion gizmos. So if you are done with all of this, if you're done with, you've already gone through the lesson on the notes, you've done the gizmos, and you're, feel pretty confident on it, you don't need to do tutorial videos. So the only thing left for you to do would be this extra credit if you want to do it. If you don't want to do it, but you're done with the mole conversion gizmos and you know that you feel like you did pretty well on it, okay, because you understand this, then you're done. You don't have anything extra for today. Okay, so you can this is kind of like a mental health day for you, for at least for chemistry. So if you need to catch up on stuff for other classes, you can do that. If you want to do the extra credit on here, like I said, you can. It's extra credit, you don't have to. And so that's basically it. If you have questions and you want to hang around to ask them, you are more than welcome to do that. But if you, I'm gonna go ahead and stop sharing. If you don't have any questions and you think you're good on the mole conversions and you don't need to ask me any specific questions, then you are free to log out for today. And I have you marked as present since you were here in the Zoom. But on Thursday, we will be doing a new lesson. So if you're, make sure that you look on Canvas, and if you need to come in to the Zoom, you can come to the Zoom and we'll go over a couple of the examples on Thursday, okay?
Bye.
Bye, Ariel. Bye, guys. I didn't really get to see you, but I'm glad we were on the call.